what inspired you to get into acting?
What matters is the story and how you craft it.
You've answered a lot of the questions already with that one answer, so that's fine.
So there was a lot of pressure going on around me, and it was, causing that anxiety at first. And that was the first time I experienced those symptoms. And I remember being able to throw myself in that class while going through like panic attacks or like anxiety and learning to deal with it.
Please subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on your favorite podcasting platform. Thank you.
Hi, and welcome to Film Forums. Today I have a very special guest with me, Freddy Giorlando, who's an actor and producer from New York.
And thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
So looking back, do you think your time at the HB studio in New York was a necessary transformative experience for you as an actor, or do you think you would have made it to where you are now regardless?
HB studio was very, very transformative. I like that question a lot because HB, man, it taught me not only a great foundation as an actor and really made me appreciate the craft and learn the craft and the art form, but it allowed me to transform myself as an individual. I studied with a great teacher who still teaches now to this day. His name is Michael Beckett at HB Studio. And he doesn't know how much he really means to me to this day, because I started going there, man, probably like a decade ago. And I started on in his like technique class, and then we got into scene study. And I remember during that time as an individual, I wasn't as aware, or I had a lot of learning to do as myself as a human being, and obviously as the craft of an actor. But I believe that, to grow as an artist, you have to grow as an individual, and vice versa. And that experience studying under him for a good amount of years at HB taught me, really taught me how to deal with myself as a human being. I was going through a lot of anxiety issues at the time, getting into acting, for the first time, taking classes and making it a career and giving it a go. And at the time I had my son, who was maybe 2 or 3 years old, my son, Anthony. I had him when I was 19. And I was going through this stage in life, accepting fatherhood and taking responsibility at a young age. And I really didn't know how to compute and comprehend it. So there was a lot of pressure going on around me, and it was, causing that anxiety at first. And that was the first time I experienced those symptoms. And I remember being able to throw myself in that class while going through like panic attacks or like anxiety, and learning to deal with it through the craft, and also outside of school, doing my research on handling myself and controlling or managing my anxiety, that allowed me to do, perform in class. And I remember my teacher at the time would start off class with these stories. He was like, he's like a guru, and he would tell these stories, and he would mention these philosophers' names. I had no idea who they were. And he was talking about, acting is osmosis. And when you're in a scene, and you're watching people, actually, when you're watching people, you could absorb and learn through that. I had no idea what osmosis was. I had no idea who these philosopher names that he was mentioning, but I had a great desire to learn. And as I looked up these philosophers and I read some of their books, and I researched just like keywords of osmosis and all this stuff that was very foreign to me. He was talking like quantum physics and metaphysics and all this stuff. I had no idea what this was. I started researching and just looking up all this stuff because I wanted to understand what he was talking about. Yeah. And through doing that, I was able to start that path into just mastering myself and just working on myself as a human being. And that allowed me to be a better actor. So definitely, to answer your question, HB Studio was very, very transformative. To this day, Mr. Michael Beckett means a lot to me. And that experience itself means a great deal to me.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do, huh? You gonna kill me too?
You spoiled it. You made me look like a fool. And we're family. And you go and do a thing like that to your family?
What do you wish you'd known about acting when you first started out?
I used to do school plays in middle school. I was a class clown in class all throughout my years growing up. And I remember, just side note, I was on the phone with my grandma and she's seen an article that was recently published how I was talking about being a class clown. And then she made a joke. Oh, if they only knew, Freddie, if they only knew how much you were. So I always enjoyed performing, and getting into acting, I knew I wanted to do something that I would just love doing in general. And I tried a bunch of odd end jobs because I really didn't go to college at all. So I was just taking these jobs after job, and I was trying to figure out my life and just figure out what would work. And I just made this decision of, listen, I'm not going to do something that's not going to make me happy. I'm not going to do something that I'm not going to love doing, because it's not going to be healthy for me nor my son and just the people around me. So I was like, let me give acting a shot, because I knew I loved performing growing up. I knew that I'd be able to do it to some extent. And at the time, and it wouldn't have made me hesitant to do it. But if someone would have told me, hey, it might take a little time for you to get going, like, be prepared for that. Because I didn't really have any mentors when I first started out. I knew no one around me was an actor. So I couldn't even like plug away and like, hey, how does this work? I just had to do some research and like tag people as I met them. I wish people would have said, hey, it's going to take some time. Relax. You'll get this. You'll understand. And like I said, I wouldn't have been hesitant to still take part in this journey. And it was just it is my journey, and still is, and it was at the time, not to have that guidance so I could learn for myself.
You were involved in an incredible amount of projects in relation to both filmmaking and humanitarian. What drives you to take on so much?
It's a great question, man. It's an important question too. I really just want to help people. I love people, man. I really do. You know, one of my side hustles for some time was in the service industry. And what made it really great to be in the service industry was to really connect and communicate with all different types of people, all different types from all different walks of life. Mm-hmm. And moving out to Los Angeles 4 years ago, you know, I was in the service industry. I was in the restaurants. So we'd see all these different people from not even just around the country, around the world, coming into the restaurant and the shop. And it was a small shop, and I was able to communicate with them and connect with them. And really just, I've always been fascinated and curious about other people. Mm. Really. I don't know what it is. I used to get made fun of when I was younger, because I would just, when me and my friends would go out, I would make friends with like people around me, and I'd spend the night with them and hang out with them. And then I'd tell my friends, listen, you know, I tell my friends like, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, man. Like, you know, and I'd be just really hearing people's stories, man, and really just feel really compelled to just help people, because I really feel like this world, especially what we're going through right now, every day we could do a little bit better personally. Like, so I work on myself every day to do better personally so I can help people around me. And I feel as a collective, we can do literally every day. We can do better every day to make this world better for our children, our children's children, and so on and so forth. I feel like responsibility that I feel like I have. Not that I'm anyone special at all, but I love people in general. That's really what drives me every day, just to make, if I could help somebody, I'm always down to help people, man.
Speaking of one of those projects, tell us
Yeah.
about Engage the Vision, what it is and why you're involved.
So Engage the Vision is a nonprofit organization. We're a mentorship program. And prior to the pandemic, we've been schooling 4th and 5th graders, nurture the kids, provide them with like tools that they could function optimally, every single day of their lives, just to, really just giving advice and just being there and being present with them and just sharing love with them and just connecting with them. It definitely goes a long way. And it's been really great to see kids from 4th going into 5th grade, how they've changed in just that summer for 4 months. You could really see a difference. And it just goes back to, being there and helping one another out. And for us to be able to help the next generation out, which is very important, means a lot to me. So I've been very fortunate to be, involved in the organization with really, really good people. And that's what we do. We just go there. We're there consistently throughout the school year. Now, right now, due to COVID and everything like that, but usually we're there throughout the school year. Every Friday we're there consistently, and we have that time to be there for the kids, with the program.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, it's really great, dude.
Brilliant. Can you also tell us about the Creatives Mixer and why half of the donations received for that project go to the Actors Fund?
So the Creatives Mixer, I started originally 2 years ago in Los Angeles, out at a lounge called Break Room 86. And it was just, it was a space for people to come together and network with one another, that were coming up in the industry, all different walks of life, creatives, actors, musicians. Honestly, I tell people, like, listen, you don't even got to be a creative. You just got to be a good, if you're a good person, you want to have a night out, just come out and just like, network with people and just communicate and connect with people. And that built from starting 2 years ago. After about a year, it was consistent every Thursday. I would do it every Thursday night, every single Thursday night at Break Room 86. And after about, coming into like the year anniversary, I wouldn't even say not even, within a few months, we had agents coming, managers coming, casting directors coming, just by word of mouth, people telling people. And for me, when a buddy of mine, Cottrell Guidry, who runs the evening as well, he asked me to come on board with them and promote. I had the idea of like, could I make it a mixer, and could I invite creatives out, and can it be, could we do it this way instead of like bringing in people and selling tables and all that? I was just like, hey, if I can make this a space where people come connect and communicate with one another, then I'm all for that, because that fulfills me. Seeing people network. I love being the plug and, placing people with one another and seeing them build with one another. We brought the Creators Mixer online since the pandemic hit. We've been having, it's bi-weekly. It's a bi-weekly show every other Thursday. We actually have one tonight where we have my buddy Jason Kyle, who's over at Sony and CBS in TV development, and co-founder of the Creators Writing Room, which is something that I'm a part of as well, working on with him. The Actors Fund recently agreed to partner up with us because they heard we were giving 50% away to the Actors Fund. Of any donation we get from the show, we give 50% to the Actors Fund. And simply because, I'm an actor. I started out as an actor. Just any way to give back to help other actors during this time. That was the whole intention. There's really nothing more about that, but just helping out other actors.
I spoke recently with Kazi Tuganas, who co-wrote and starred in Standing 8, a short film about lupus that I noticed you also feature in. Can you tell us about the film and how you came to be involved?
Kazi, that name really doesn't. No, I'm just kidding. He's actually like a big brother to me, to be honest. Kazi's one of my closest and dearest friends. I'm very grateful for his friendship. And he's just a really good dude that's making really awesome strides. And it's I'm very fortunate again just to know him, and him kind of take me under his wing and be a big brother to me, because he's definitely helped me out, these past few years through the industry and giving me advice. And we really just support one another wholeheartedly. So he actually asked me to be in the film when we shot it years ago. And of course I'm going to say yes, because he's just a good friend, but also what the film represents in raising awareness for lupus. I think, and I know he spoke about this, but for me personally, before he asked me to be a part of the film, I wasn't aware of what lupus was. I wasn't too educated on lupus. Didn't know many people that had it around my circle, but many people do have it. So for him to make a film to raise awareness for lupus, and even in the market of film and TV right now, you really don't see a lot of characters. I mean, I can't recall. Maybe there has been some, but you don't see a lot of characters that struggle with lupus or deal with lupus. And what that does is, if there were more people or more characters, you would create awareness for lupus.
Yeah.
Which would, conjure up the energy of creating awareness. People can educate themselves, and also people can understand and want to maybe give more of their love and time and donate whatever they can to help lupus. So for him just asking me to be a part of it, I was like, hey, dude, let's rock with it. Whatever you want, man, I got you, of course. And then knowing what the film represents, with a boxer that gets diagnosed with lupus, and he's, figuring it out for himself as well, how to deal with it. It really, and I've seen it at his premiere that he had for Standing 8. It's really impacted the lupus warriors, around the country, really bigging them up and, giving them some inspiration and motivation. And it's really, really, really great to see. And yeah, man, it was just a really good pleasure to be a part of it.
What's the biggest challenge that you've overcome to make it to the stage you have as a filmmaker?
It goes back to just internal challenges and struggles for mostly. Yeah, there's a lot of things you have to deal with in the business externally that comes to you. That's kind of part of like the journey and the road. But for the first few years, as it was coming to me externally, like auditions and waiting to hear for that booking after you get that call back, and not really hearing it, and you're kind of like, man, I wish I would have booked that. My life would be a little bit different if I would have booked that. My career would have took off, all this stuff. And just navigating throughout the industry and even throughout life. There's, things are necessary, struggles are necessary for you to grow as an individual. I had to learn that, So I think overall, where I'm at now is, there's a lot of obstacles, and life throws stuff at you that's unexpected, and you have to deal with it. That's for sure. Like whatever I have thrown at me, I have the choice of how I'm going to react to it. I've grown to understand that and take responsibility in that.
I love that answer.
And it's like I said, some things are going to be thrown your way that you can't control, but all that I can do right now is, put the importance and the focus on what I can control.
Yeah. Brilliant answer. I love that. I love that all of your answers, actually. This is the lot.
Oh, thanks, man.
I can tell you're a podcaster. And finally, what are you working on next as a filmmaker and actor?
Right now, so I just launched my production company, Shicken Productions, which I'm very excited about. It's a film and television company that also, we're also working in events and even company branding. But on the film and TV side of that, right now, a buddy of mine, Jaime Zavalos, he's got a short form anthology series that he wants to get made. And I'm working with him producing, and I'm going to be acting alongside of him as well for that. We got Adulthood, which is another show that I produced and acted in with a few of my buddies, producing partners. We're shooting a short form season that came about from a pilot that we shot years ago, like 4 years ago, I think. it was a little bit of time that actually got some steam after it premiered in the festivals a couple years back. And then that led us into pitching to a few production companies and networks and platforms, which led us into deciding, hey, we're going to shoot this ourselves for the first season, because we do have those connections to circle back to. We're going to, take creative control and kind of shoot how we see and create how we see our, our project. I got my short film, Oh Johnny, that I'll be directing. I already have the script for it. I wrote that, and I'll be acting and producing that as well.
Thank you, Freddy Giorlando, very much for your time. Really, really appreciate it.
A lot of them were very important questions that raised some good issues on topics that need to be talked about. So thank you, man.
Please subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on your favorite podcasting platform. Thank you.